In today's video, we're counting down our picks for the top 10 most unusual babies that were born with exceptional and unbelievable features. Do you know any kids that were born with super unique and shocking conditions? Well, let us know down below in the comments. I've also noticed that most of you watching this aren't subscribed yet, so if you do like the video, please consider hitting that subscribe button. It's absolutely free and you can always change your mind later. And with that said, enjoy the video. Number 10. Chahat Kumar. Hailing from Punjab city in India, little Chahat Kumar was born a normal baby girl. Then slowly, her family noticed that she was rapidly increasing in weight every single day. So much so that by the time she was 8 months old, she tipped the scale at 17 kilograms, the weight of an average 5-year-old. According to her parents, Chahat has an insatiable appetite and is eating constantly, hence her unusual weight gain. Understandably, her parents were pretty worried about this. They then searched for some help against their daughter's immense appetite. This came to Dr. Vasudev Sharma, who's been working with Chahat since she was born. In an interview, he mentioned that this is the first time in his career that he's seen a person, and a child for that matter, gain so much weight in such a short span of time. He wanted to extract some of her blood from the girl in order to run some tests, but even that proved to be very difficult due to the thick layer of fat covering Chahat's veins. At this point, the toddler couldn't even stand on her own and must drag herself on the floor because she's simply too heavy for her young legs to carry. One can only hope that the poor baby gets some help soon. Number 9. Baby Chonko. If you spend a lot of time browsing the Instagram Explorer feed, then you've probably seen the amazing baby Chonko. She's not really that hard to miss, given her head of thick, luxurious hair. Unlike most babies who usually take months before sprouting their first tufts of hair, baby Chonko was born with a full mane. At only 7 months old, she's known the world over and is a verifiable Instagram celebrity. It was her mom who decided to upload photos of her very unusual baby on Instagram, calling it a hair diary. The account instantly went viral, and she's been delighting the world with glamour shots of Chonko's mane ever since. According to Yahoo Lifestyle, hormones are the deciding factor in whether babies will be born with hair or not. And even if a baby is born with relatively thick hair, sometimes they lose it in a few weeks. Baby Chonko, on the other hand, is still going strong, and may have a fast track to a career endorsing shampoos in the future. Number 8. Didier Montalvo. Hailed as the Turtle Boy, youngster Didier Montalvo from Colombia has struggled with a rather huge burden, a rare condition called congenital melanotic nevus, or CMN. It's a giant mole that grew so much that it covered 40% of his body that resembled a turtle shell. The rare birthmark, congenital melanotic nevus, as I said, affects around 1 in 20,000 newborn babies, but a top surgeon described Didier Montalvo's condition as the worst he'd ever seen. Didier's life was severely affected by the growth, covering more than half of his body circumference, both in the painful itchiness of his skin and how it affected his confidence as well. He and his family were shunned by villagers in his home in rural Colombia in South America, and his mother Luz was even told it was her fault for looking at a solar eclipse while pregnant. The family was far too poor to shell out for surgery, but his life changed when his touching story was featured in a local newspaper and a flood of donations poured in. While they could now afford the operation, the life-changing surgery was still by no means straightforward. In fact, it'd be very painful, dangerous, and complicated. Fortunately though, the surgery was successful, and the former turtle boy is now living a rather normal life. Number 7. Kaleem Mohammed, the boy with giant hands. Kaleem lives with his parents in an impoverished small village in Jharkhand state in eastern India. Known as the boy with giant hands, he was discovered through social media in 2015 when he was only 8 years old. This poor boy was born with a condition in which his hands and arms grow disproportionately large. Because of this, Kaleem has been bullied by other kids and even refused admission to schools because, according to the school administrator, his hands would scare other children. His family has also suffered the wrath of superstitious neighbors in their village who believe that the boy's large hands are the result of a curse, attributing him as a devil's child. Even the most basic acts are difficult for Kaleem, all because of his overgrown hands. But hope did arrive in the form of Dr. Raha Sabapathy, a pioneering hand surgeon who is known for his expertise in microsurgery. He agreed to take on Kaleem's case for free. Since meeting the doctor, Kaleem has undergone 2 surgeries, one to reduce the size of one of his hands and the next to stop it from growing again. His hands are still massive, but the future does look pretty bright for the kid with giant hands. Number 6. Nadiana. Born in Siberia, this 8-year-old girl was born with pale hair, porcelain skin, and enchanting blue-violet eyes that have earned her the nickname of Snow White. And because of her striking appearance, she's been flooded with modeling offers. Narayana was born with albinism, a condition that leads to someone having very light skin, hair, and eyes. While there is no cure for it, people with this type of disorder can take steps to protect their skin and eyes, as well as to maximize their vision. According to Nariana's parents, she was the first albino born in their family. Her appearance isn't typical at all for inhabitants for her native Yakutia, who were mostly women with brown-eyed brunettes. Her popularity took off pretty quickly after a local photographer shot a photo session with her and published them on social media. Needless to say, if she does decide to take up a career in modeling, she's gonna be pretty successful. Number 5. Miliana Worthy. Miliana is a baby that looks like she just stepped out of a hair salon with her beautiful bi-colored hair, but believe it or not, she was born that way. Miliana's curly locks are dark for the most part, except for the strikingly light tuft of hair on top of her head. And even more amazing, her mom also has the same bi-colored hair. In fact, this condition goes back 2 generations before Miliana was even born. In scientific terms, this characteristic is called achromotrichia, or an absence of pigmentation in the hair. This anomaly is often accompanied by vitiligo, as is the case with Miliana. However, the little girl pulls off her 2-colored skin just as much as her hair. Number 4. Milagros Seren. Milagros was born in 2004 in a small town in the Andes of Peru, but she wasn't born normal, no. She actually had a rare congenital disease known as Sirenomelia, or mermaid syndrome, a rare and usually lethal congenital malformation. This condition resulted in both her legs being fused together, which resembled that of the tails of mermaids in popular folklore. She also has a deformed left kidney and a very small right one, located very low in her body. In addition, her digestive and urinary tracts along with her genitals share a single tube. Most babies born with this condition die within a few days after birth, but little Milagros survived, hence her name, which is a Spanish name for miracle. In 2005, doctors performed a series of complicated surgeries that would separate her legs and reconstruct her internal organs. The surgeries were successful, and soon this little angel was able to walk and live a relatively normal life. Sadly though, in 2019, she did pass away at the age of 15 due to an acute kidney failure. While it's very tragic, at least she got a chance for a normal life for a little bit. Number 3. Isla Kilpatrick Screeton. This 2-year-old girl from the UK shocked everyone after she became the world's lone sufferer of the Benjamin Button disease. The rare disorder has caused the tot to tragically age prematurely and weigh around half as much as a healthy toddler. Born in February of 2017, she had to be incubated for the first 5 days of her life and put into a medically induced coma. She suffers from an abnormal strain of mandibulorectal dysplasia, a birth defect marked by an undeveloped lower jaw and collarbone, skin deterioration, as well as a select fat loss and bone disappearing from the tips of her fingers and toes. As a result, she ages at an accelerated pace and is likely to take on the appearance of a far older person in the future, at least according to doctors. Isla's illness has left her with a heart condition and breathing trouble due to constricted airways. A breathing tube assists her oxygen intake, while a gastronomy funnels food into her stomach as she can't actually eat on her own. Her parents started using TikTok to raise awareness and keep them entertained during the pandemic lockdown. One video alone was viewed with a staggering 1.8 million times, and since then, they've had lots of positive feedback. Number 2. Jean-Chris Carl Quirante. Hailing from Cebu City in the Philippines, Jean-Chris Carl Quirante was born with a rare condition known as multiple hyperdontia, a condition which gives him more teeth than the average person. To put it more accurately, he has about 10 times more. By the time he was in 4th grade, the boy already had 300 teeth growing in his mouth. Since the discovery, Jean-Chris has been undergoing operations to have the extra teeth removed from his mouth. Otherwise, they could cause severe gum disease and eating discomfort as he gets older. It's gonna take about 8 operations to remove all his extra teeth. These procedures will be spread over a few years to allow the gums to properly heal between each group of extractions. So far, he's not had any setbacks associated with his condition, and he's excelling at school and on the playground. He remains happy and positive despite his upcoming operations. Fortunately, his condition was caught before it affected his quality of life. Number 1. Jonathan Pitter. Born in Ontario, Canada, Jonathan Pitter was born with a rare genetic mutation called recessive dystrophic epidermolysis bullosa, or EB, which causes external and internal blistering across the body. With that said, this condition is considered to be one of the most painful and worst diseases in the world today. He lived in pain daily for 18 long years until he passed away in October of 2018. However, believe it or not, he did live a full life, all thanks to his courageousness and can-do attitude. When his situation gained worldwide attention in 2012, he became an ambassador for DEBRA Canada, a charity devoted to the support and awareness of EB. He was even made an honorary scout by his favorite hockey team, the Ottawa Senators, and even attended the NHL Awards in Las Vegas, of course, along with the Senators. Johnny, as he was called, simply loved hockey, and he let everybody know that. The Ontario Ball Hockey Association even held a tournament in his honor, with part of the entry fee donated to Deborah Canada. Efforts were done to treat his disease, and he even received a stem cell transplant from his mom back in 2016, but that treatment failed. Despite that, though, his memory still gives sufferers of EB the strength and determination to continue living. Thank you all for sticking with me to the end. Like the video if you do and leave a comment. Also, make sure to check out the channel's other amazing content. As always, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all next time. Later, everybody.